Greeting and warm welcome to ELT Long. In this video, we are going to continue our ELT series. To continue ELT series, I am going to discuss about the stages, techniques, and the procedure or methodology of teaching listening. It means while teaching listening, what stages that we have to follow, what techniques we have to use, and through which procedure, and what methodology we have to use while teaching listening to the EFL or ESL learners. So, to overcome or to complete this task as a teacher, teachers should efficiently use the available audio materials to develop the listening skill of their student. Instead of reading the listening text on self, a teacher has to use the available audio material from the curriculum board or from different sources available. But while choosing the audio, the teacher should be careful that the audio should match the text and it should align with the interest and the level of students. For this, the teacher must be critical and analytical and careful while choosing the resource. When choosing the audio material, the teacher should be very critical. The teacher should be very critical analytical, careful while choosing those resources. Though, to make teaching listening as a planned activities, the widely used format of teaching listening comprises 3 different stages as presented below. The stages are pre, while, and post. Pre, while, and post. So these are the stages through which we have to teach listening text. In each stage, we have to carry out different activities for different purposes, which we will discuss in each stage later. The first stage of teaching listening is the pre-listening stage. Let's understand what the pre-listening stage is. This stage takes place before the actual listening stage. So, takes place before the actual listening stage. This stage is just carried out to make the student prepare or to motivate the student toward actual listening. The main goal of this stage is to provoke interest among the students in listening text. So, to complete this stage or to carry out this stage, we as a teacher have to carry out different activities or the following activities during this stage. So these are number A to F are the activities that we can carry out to teach listening in the pre-stage. The first one is describing the given picture. So if a text is about a picture, we can describe a picture related to the text, or we can create our own picture about the text through using AI tools, or if a similar picture is already published or already available, we can use the picture and we can engage our students to describe the given picture. But the only thing we have to mind is that the picture must be related to the listening text. The second activity that we can carry is we can introduce new or difficult vocabularies that are used in the listening text. Means from the listening text we can pick up new vocabulary or difficult vocabulary that we feel these vocabularies are difficult to students. So we can pick up some, or we can select some new or difficult vocabulary items and we can discuss with a student about their meaning to provoke interest among a student, and in later stages it helps a student to comprehend the listening text. The third activity is previewing the structure and level of language. We can introduce a students with the structure of language, which type of language is used. Is it advanced, intermediate level language skill is being expressed, or beginner level? Means the difficulty level of language we can express to the student. Another activity that we can carry out in this stage is encouraging students to predict. So we can present some teaching material like picture or any realia, and we can encourage students to predict what is the listening text is about, and a student will guess about the content or the idea of the listening text. So if they are encouraged, they will be much active while listening the text. The next one would be developing curiosity among students. We can develop curiosity among a student about the listening text by discussing the background of listening text, some new vocabularies, or describing some background with picture, realia, or other teaching materials. Similarly, we can organize or we can give a informal teacher talk. We can talk with students not informally, but in an informal way. We can talk with students about the listening text. What the text is about, what are the ideas being expressed, or what are the ideas that the listening text contain. And there is signpost question. We can discuss some signpost question, SPO questions to provoke interest among the students. So these are the activities that we can carry out before the actual listening takes place in classroom. So the aforementioned purpose can be achieved by carrying out the following activities. To achieve our goal, we can carry out these activities, like we can prepare and compile pictures or map, etc., to describe a picture to provoke interest among the students. Now that is speculating a tentative question to be discussed. We can guess some of the questions, or we can make some of the question from the listening text, and we can discuss a little bit about the questions, presuming some questions earlier and presenting to students. We can design some questions and we can present the questions to students and encourage them to guess the answer, which will ultimately lead them to be interested in listening text. And the last one is predicting the curiosity and ways of motivating them. We can predict how the student will be curious and how we can motivate them toward the learning text. So these are the activities that we can carry out to achieve the above mentioned purpose. Okay. Now, in the second stage of teaching listening, the second stage is called while listening stage. This stage is also called the actual listening stage. This stage is the actual listening stage, where actual listening stage means here the audio is played. Audio is played and the students listen carefully to answer the questions followed by the audio. In this stage, the true listening activities take place. The main goal of this stage is to acquire the target target knowledge. So the main goal of this stage is to acquire the target knowledge or information that the text contains. The students should be engaged in different activities during this stage. After playing the audio, once the audio is completed, the students should be engaged in different activities as presented follows. The first one is matching picture or items. We can give some of the keywords from the audio and we can give them some picture with pictures, and we can ask them to match the word with the picture or items. We can design some of the true false item from the audio and we can ask a student to do. We can use multiple choice item and ask a student to do. We can use fill in the blanks item and ask a student to do. We can ask them to locate a specific information. We can ask the students to put the item in correct order. We can choose various items or various statements, sentences of the audio, and we can ask them to put in correct order what comes first, what comes second, what comes third, what comes fourth. So we can ask them to reorder. Another activities that we can carry out in this stage is we can ask a student to transcribe the audio or video. So once this is the most useful activity that we can use in this stage of teaching listening. If our students transcribes the audio or transcribes the listening text, the comprehension becomes more. They comprehend the listening text more, and that is much useful to develop their listening skill. Similarly, we can ask them to spot out the mistakes in the audio or in the activities that we have designed. Similarly, we can play the audio, or after playing the audio, we can ask the students to take notes about the major ideas discussed or the central ideas discussed in the poem, or the important fact or informations or event that have been discussed in the audio. Similarly, we can use jigsaw listening to improve the comprehension of the students in this stage. So these are the activities that we can carry out in this stage of listening, teaching listening. Okay, the last stage is the post listening stage. So in the post listening stage, the purpose of post listening stage is to check to check understanding of a student. Understanding of the students. And this is also called the evaluation stage. In this stage, teacher asks some questions to the students in order to assess their response and level of understanding. The major activities that we can carry out in this stage are problem solving. We can give some problem based on the audio that we have played in the class, and we can ask a student to solve the problem. We can ask a students to come on a decision if there is any debatable issue or any issue in the listening text, or we can ask them to make a note or develop summary about the listening text, or we can ask them to extract the gist of the listening text. Similarly, we can ask them to construct a parallel text with the audio or the listening text. We can ask them to paraphrase the audio text or the audio. We can ask them to transcribe the audio in their own words, and the students will write or transcribe the audio using their own words. Or we can ask them to reflect on the idea discussed in the audio text. So these are the activities that we can carry out in post listening stage of teaching listening skill. So these are the stages that are mostly used worldwide to teach listening skill or to develop listening skill among the students. Now the matter is that the teacher should usually play the listening stage thrice in a classroom. While listening stage, we have to play the audio text at least 3 times, and the student must listen carefully and try to comprehend when the audio is played for the first time. For the first time, the students listen carefully to comprehend the text. For the second time, they listen and carry out the provided task. For the second time, students listen to carry out the task about the listening text. And for the third time or the final listening stage, learners have to listen and verify whether their answers or task is carried properly or not. So this is very important that a teacher should play the listening text at least 3 times in the classroom. And it is not always to play the audio text 3 times. It can be increased as per the demand, desire and level of students. It means a teacher can play it 4 times, 5 times or 6 times if the students are feeling difficult to comprehend, or if they demand playing it more. The teacher should consider these things related to the students, and the audio text should be played as per the demand. So these are the stages through which we can teach or we can develop listening stage of our students. So I hope the stages are crystal clear to you. Please like the video and subscribe the channel for more videos. Thank you.